Welcome to the Sheila C Hill Show. That C stands for come on in this room and have a sit down so we can chit chat just for a little while. Listen, the Sheila C Hill Show is the ultimate go-to podcast for ambitious individuals, yes, just like you, who want to live a more fulfilling and successful life to get valuable insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories to help you improve your lifestyle, grow your business, and enhance your emotional well-being. Now, in every episode, you're going to gain practical tips and insightful wisdom in the company of supportive community of like-minded individuals, which I call them. That's Sheila's Thrive Tribe, baby, because we are here to thrive in all areas of our life. So, if you're new, hold on. If you're new, I just want to say I am your host, Sheila C Hill, and I would like to just say hello. Hola, bonjour, como está, ni hao, howdy, and what's going on, you guys? Please subscribe, follow, and share. Listen, you want to join Sheila's Thrive Tribe where we come in and live our best lives, okay? So I'm so excited to have a special guest with me today, Miss Erica Knowles. I'm telling you, listen, I told y'all over and over again that I bring the cream of the crop. I bring the best guests to this show. And listen, I know she's not going to disappoint at all. Listen, Erica is a two-time author, a writer of fiction and poetry. Woo, okay, the poetry going on. She is currently working on a line of digital reminders of one's self-worth and importance. Woo, listen, you need to hear, she need to hear him get that going because we need that right now, today. So with no delay, I would like to welcome to the stage Miss Erica Knowles. Woo!
Hello.
Welcome
Hello,
to the show. Okay, Erica, if you could just tell us a little about yourself so the audience can get to know who you are.
Well, I always say I'm a small town girl. Grew up in central Georgia. So, just kind of a little country feel to me a little bit. But I always consider myself a regular person. I'm an observer. I'm a thinker. I'm a feeler. And when I get quiet, I'm my most dangerous because I'm absorbing everything around me. I'm taking it in. And if I decide to speak, you will get my complete truth. And how the way I give it to you depends on you, and how you receive it isn't my concern. So I try to be nice. I really do. I come from a place of love. I come from a place of, regardless of what you do, I come from a place of love. So sometimes some things are a little tough love.
Ooh. You know, as you're describing it, it sounds like you may be a silent assassin. They just come in and just do. Well, you know, it's like, what happened? They just ripped me to shreds. That's what that sounds like.
I always give a warning. I've someone told me that I gathered someone together very professionally. And I was like, well, I don't want to be mean, I don't want to be cruel, but sometimes we have to set very firm boundaries because some people push. And when you push, I can push back much harder than you may have expected. So,
okay. And I understand. Listen, because at some point you gotta protect your energy. You gotta protect the people that's around you. And if they're not giving you anything, no, baby, you are taking my energy. No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
So yes. So when you said that you get quiet So is that a time that is that how you process when you're writing your books? Are you in a quiet space, or do you have some inspiration and then you build from that?
It's a combination. Sometimes I can be inspired, but it always comes from a place of quiet, because even if I get the inspiration, sometimes the thoughts, it's not really a clear thought yet. So I always have to get to that place of quiet, of peace, get away from people, no TV, not even sometimes anything playing in the background, music, just really just, sitting down and hearing my thoughts and working through my mindset. And I always reference scripture. I always pray about it. Whenever something comes to me, my next question is, okay, God, what does that mean? What am I supposed to do with that? Something's forming, but I'm not getting it. And so you really do need that quiet place to make sure that you're hearing clearly, and also to make sure you're calm, because you don't want to, the same way you don't want to speak in anger, you don't want to write in anger, because once you release those words, once you release those thoughts, they're out there in the atmosphere and they don't dissipate. They're not, it's not water. You don't put it in the sunlight and they disappear. They stay out there, they circulate, they build, and they land somewhere. And I don't wish bad or evil on anyone. So let me get to my quiet place before I start, let me calm down and come from that place of love and peace and joy, and the good things that, God wants us to have.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, when you said don't write in anger, even though you may have experiences, I can just only imagine that being a really thin line, because you have your experiences, you have the pain that comes with it. So how do you journey without writing in anger and still tell the story?
Um, you have to deal with your anger. So you're honest with yourself. At no point do you ever lie. You have to be honest with yourself about what you think and feel. And what you think and feel is anger. It's anger, it's resentment, it's disappointment, it's hurt, all of these things. So when I say don't write in anger, I don't necessarily mean don't write, because sometimes writing out how you really feel and what you really think is a good way of a healthy self-expression and a way of releasing those emotions. But once you write it, you have to burn it, tear it up, get rid of it, because you've released those negative things. And now it's time to focus on the positive. And the positive is, yes, this happened, but what can I learn from it? I was going through something, and my whole thing with it is, God, if I have to go through this, I'll go through it, but let me learn something. And when I learn what I need, let me be able to take it and help others get through the same thing. So, be honest with yourself. Don't pretend, but don't stay there. Don't dwell in that place, because that's when the bitterness and resentment kicks in. That's when you get into a very dangerous place, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So just, you have to learn to acknowledge it, accept it, own it, and release it. And then you start, and that's the first step in that healing process.
Wow, that's awesome. And there's so many people that need to heal. But how has your book helped you heal, or has it?
It's still a healing process, because, the decisions you make are based on things that happen to you, not just about your upbringing, but we go through things. Things happen to us, no matter how great your parents may have been, no matter how wonderful and supportive your family and friends are, no matter how educated, no matter how much money you have, things happen in life. And when those things happen, they're unexpected. You don't expect these things to happen, so you're not prepared for them. So sometimes you have to pull on things that basically you need certain things to get through them, and you may not have those things. Your past and your lifestyle may not have prepared you. So you have to look within yourself, and you use your background or whatever knowledge or information you have as a kind of like a stepping stone to that process. But you have to look at what your stones are. So if your stones are being self-depreciating or being rude and disrespectful, if your stones are fighting, if your stones are being manipulative and conniving, then that's what you're going to do. So you first have to look at, how do I address issues? And then you have to look, and then once you start understanding how you address your issues, the next question is, okay, why do I do it that way? And that's where, for me, prayer and meditation came in. It's like, why did I make this decision? Why did I do this? Why didn't I listen to my inner voice? Or why didn't I trust my original thought? And then, God takes you back, and it's like, you remember when this happened, and then this happened, and that happened, and it affected, and he'll take you back to something that happened when you were 5. But it, that energy or that negativity carried with you even on a subconscious level. And it's, 30 something years later, and here we are, it's finally really come to the forefront. And so
now that is so true. Now, when we get to the point to work on ourselves, oh my God, we here at the Sheila C Hill Show, that's what we do. We work on ourselves. But baby, the bad, the good, the ugly, you can't go around it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it. But is there a quicker fix or faster steps? Because it seems like you did the work. Is there a way to get through this faster? Please help a sister out.
That is the way. And the process depends on you. And one of the things I will say is that when you're going through these processes, especially like in my case, I couldn't afford therapy. I didn't necessarily have people, not to say that I didn't have people that I could have talked to about it, but they had very busy schedules, very busy lives. And so I was like, okay, God, this is me and you. I made a decision that, I'm going to go to my source. And so regardless of what I did or didn't do, regardless of the way I should have done things, he's still my source. He's still my provider. He's still my father, my confidant, all of that, my counselor. So let me go to him. And when I went to him, and, he started dealing with me about me. That's rule number 1. He didn't deal with me about other people. He dealt with me about me. And as he started dealing with me about me, he gave me insight into the spirit or what was motivating, someone to do something. But, that's about it. 90% of it was me. But the thing with it is, God knows what you can handle. He knows how to handle you. And when you are willing to sit down with him and listen and follow and let your father speak to you, he can be very gentle. He can be very kind, very compassionate. But again, you have to be willing to listen. Now, if you just want to do what you want to do and look for him to fix it, actions have consequences, and bad choices lead to bad consequences. But when you sit still, and even if you're now getting things back on track, you did something, there's still consequences. My consequences were emotional, spiritual, and mental. The saving grace was that there was no physical connection. There was nothing sexual that occurred. So that, that's something that it would have just taken me over the edge. So that's, you have, spiritual ties are real. And so you have to be very careful with that. But let God deal with you about you. And, you'll be amazed at how, I won't say it was a quick healing process, but it was a very healthy process. Now, how long it takes, it is specific to you. It might have taken me 3 months. It
Right.
might take the person 6 months. It might take somebody else 10 years. But God knows how to deal with you. And he's not going to do it in any way that's going to be harmful to you. And whatever that process
Most
is, you
definitely.
trust him and let him walk you through it. And you focus on yourself and you take those baby steps, and he'll be there
Mm.
every step of the way.
Most definitely. That is some great advice because you have to do the work. You have to be honest with yourself because a lot of times we sweep some stuff under the rug and we be like, that ain't me. That ain't me. It's like, are you looking in the same mirror I'm looking in? Because baby, that is you. It's like
Exactly.
my eyes are lying. My eyes are lying. Yes, so we definitely want to do the work and so we can thrive. And that's what we're all about on the show. So we're going to take a moment for a commercial break and we'll be right back. Listen, guys, you all have to do the work. I've done it. She's done it.
Listen, if anybody's
Listen, I'm
interested
still.
in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook. It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43. There is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book it's less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book on Amazon.
Okay, thank you for that commercial. Grab your book on Amazon, Dr. Tina Ramsey, which is my podcast coach. And she is the owner of CTR Media Network, which reaches over 350 million households in over 100 countries. So if you're interested in becoming a podcaster, first go on Amazon, grab that book, and then join the CTR Media Network. Okay, let's do a recap. So we just was speaking with Erica, and she's sharing her journey as not just an author, but doing work and reaching your higher source, which is God, and learning that we have to put the work in. We have to be true to ourselves. We have to put the work in no matter what, and be honest with yourself. So at the end of the day, you cannot skip steps. I was trying to find, like, can you skip a step or two? Can you do it quicker? Can you do it faster? And she politely said, no, because you have to do the work. So we're going to welcome her back to the stage. Miss Erica, listen, I was hoping that you was going to say there is a quicker way to get through this process. But I know it makes you who you are, and it toughens you up, and it, flexes your muscles. But yeah. Who wants to hear all of that, right? So, Erica, let's see a question. Have you ever written a book and you may have had people, maybe family or people that you know, and they was like, were you writing about me? I think you were writing about me. Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah, that's actually my book of poetry. Several people asked me who was it about, and they were like, "Is it this person? Is it that person?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no." But no, it really ended up being. It was written because of a particular experience, but then as I began, like you said, like I was talking about before, you do the work. It was a combination of several. So that particular incident was the catalyst for it, but it had for the healing process, I'm sorry, but the buildup had started before then. So that was kind of just like the final piece of like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not gonna, I'm not doing this anymore. So, and all of those things kind of came out. Even though this particular situation brought it about, it wasn't just about that particular person. So I can't really credit any one specific person. But yeah, it it was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I be like, listen. Yeah, because it's just like, wait a minute. You want to know if the book is about so and so and so and so? Just read the book and just get what out of it, what I intended.
Yeah, and that's what it is, And the thing is, when you write, especially if you're creative, you pull from everything. So, right. And then even as I'm writing and I'm going through my healing process, it's like, okay, this person was kind of like this person. And then this step was like what this person did. And it might not even be someone you were ever connected to. It could have been something you saw in someone else and their relationship.
Right. That is so true.
So you pull from a lot of places, and people do ask that. And I really don't I don't want to talk about, number one, I want to be respectful of that person. This is something that happened. I moved on with my life. They moved on with theirs. And, people make mistakes. People do grow. Some people grow and mature.
Okay.
So if
now. Yes.
If they grew and matured, then, if you made a mistake, you want to be able to get a fresh start. So they have a right to a fresh start. So I don't do anything to damage another person. It's just, trying to help others to not be damaged as well.
Okay. So is that a part of what you want to achieve in your book? What is the overall that you want to achieve in your book and your writings?
The overall is healing. I want people who've been hurt or who did hurt to heal. And I want people to be more accountable, not only for themselves, but for those who that they are connected to. Dealing with someone on an emotional level there's a responsibility. And if you're not responsible, if you're not mature, you need to be honest with yourself and that person and leave them alone rather than damage them. And if you are damaged, you need to be alone, not lonely, but be alone until you're healed. And for those that are watching or reading and haven't experienced that, this is a guide to help you avoid that. Because, ultimately, we were designed for certain things. And when we make decisions that get us away from that path of natural design, disaster happens. So, this knowledge that you pass along is to help people from making your mistakes, not because it's foolproof, not because they may not, but you want to give people the tools they can to succeed and not experience additional things. Life in itself is going to bring things to you. You don't have to make decisions or do things that will add to that.
Most definitely. So throughout your writing journey, what has been the most rewarding moment or accomplishment for you as an author? You have those moments where you're just like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah, I think it's seeing people, number one, they know that, hey, I'm not the only one that went through this. And it's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about, even though that does happen, especially initially. But it's seeing people heal, seeing people be able to address their inner demons, their inner child, and to learn and to improve and to get stronger and better, and also to give them hope. This happened, but hey, you're better for it because you learned some things. Like you said, it did make you stronger. It gave you insight. It allowed you to seek help, and it allowed you to go through the process regardless, even if you're still going through it, there's no quick fix. It takes you as long as it takes you. Don't let someone put you on their schedule. You don't grow and mature based on someone else's convenience. You don't do things to validate someone else's faith. Those are personal things, and you do what's best for you. And if they're watching and observing you, then they can see that process. But there's no one dictates the process.
Right.
So, and it's self-acceptance. You're fine the way you are. You don't have to change or be someone you're not. And the truest you is the best you. You'll never be as successful, regardless of what your definition of success is. You'll never be as successful and have as much peace and joy and tranquility as when you are being your true self.
That is so true. And it's so important to find your true self, because so many times we have people who go on based on what society says that they should be, or if they what success looks like and what peace looks like, or what Big Mama said when you was 5 years old, you're going to be this or you're not going to be this. There's so many things that goes with that. But like you said, doing the work is so important. And when you were speaking about what you went through and you want to offer people hope, and when someone sees that someone else has been through it, it does help them. And this is one fact there's this song that says my life is not my own. And I just never liked that song. To him I belong. I'm like, but my life, what? So a lot of people understand. It's like, but I want to live my life. No, you're going through not just for you and to make you who you are, you're going through for someone else. So don't just go through and teach a lesson that you can help the next person and give them hope. Because I look at it as you going down the road and, there's a pothole and you hit that pothole, you mess up your tire, your alignment or your car's messed up. But then you have someone behind you and you get to tell them, hey, there's a pothole on 5th Street, go to the 3rd Street and then take a left and you're going to be good. You're giving that direction. But so many people are so closed-mouthed and they don't have the focus to say, hey, I'm going through this, but I can help somebody else. You've been selfish. Oh my God, stop being selfish. Help somebody, give them hope, because your life is not your own. You're not going through this just for yourself. So I don't know who that's for, but y'all better grab it. You better rake it in and let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, Erica. So as a seasoned writer, what advice would you give to aspiring authors who are just starting out on their own and they just need some help? What advice would you give them?
Write what suits you. It's not about the money. Everyone hopes for that #1 bestseller where you're going to rake in all this money and then it's going to be a movie and all this kind of stuff. But you have to, but it's like, yeah, okay. But you have to write with purpose and intent. And the first thing that you have to understand is not only what are you writing, but why are you writing it? And so whatever the reason you're writing it has to be prevalent through that process. So you have to stick to your original intent. If your intent is to heal, then it needs to have healing. If your intent is to find joy, then it needs to be joyous. If it's to have peace, then it needs to bring peace. Whatever you write, whatever place you're coming from, that is what is going to come out. So that's where it starts. And that will tell you how to tell the story. That'll tell you, I'm going to put this part in here, but I can't just put the part in here and leave it here. I have to come back with something to see. It's like I tell people, with it, like we always talk about, we want more Christian TV shows. And I said, no, we don't want Christian TV shows. We want Christian movies. And the reason is you don't know how long a TV show is going to last. You might have wrote a script for a character to have a 8-season development, but the show doesn't go past season 3. So whatever turmoil or chaos or destruction was going on with that person up until season 3, that's all we see. That's all we know. But if you do a movie, then it's an hour and 45 minutes, and you see the progression of that person, of that situation from beginning to end, and you see the completion, and you see the development, you see the maturity, you see the growth, you see them become a different person. And so I said you have to write for completion.
Yes.
And the writing has to lead up to that. So so that's the way it is. You're telling the story of a person, and the same way, if this is a character, we have flat and round characters, the way they taught us in school. Flat characters are the ones that never change. You were stupid and selfish and ignorant when you were 15, and now you're 30 and 50 and 70, and you steal those things. But the round character is the one that changes and that develops, and they mature, and they become, basically, whether they become a better person, or I don't like to say a worse person, but they may digress. There's a change, there's an evolution. So from the healing standpoint, evolution is always it's a improvement. So your character should be
most definitely. I love that analogy. Okay, so you have your books, you have your passion. I can hear it. You're working on digital products. How can people contact you? How can they get your book and get whatever you have to offer, and also share your social media handles?
Okay, well, both of my books, one of them is called Magnificent. Oh my goodness, I'm getting the wrong name. So my book of poetry is called Unnecessary Pain, written by Erica Nobles. And then I'm in an anthology with several other women. And the name of that one is Radical Woman. And both of those can be purchased on Amazon. They have digital as well as hard copies. And you can also I have an Etsy website entitled Magnificent Nobility. And you can go there. And I have digital copies of some of the things that I'm producing right now, as far as the affirmations and I call love reminders. I don't want to say self-improvement. I want to say self-love reminders. And those are, and then I also have some hard copies of Unnecessary Pain that are available on there that can be shipped to you. And I also have a digital copy that you can download. And social media, I have a website called The Erica Nobles for Facebook. And then I have for Twitter, for Instagram, and TikTok, I have Mag Lady E. So MAGLADYE. So Mag is short for Magnificent. And my thing is, at the end of the day, I'm a lady. So LADY. So Magnificent Lady Erica.
I love it. Awesome. And we'll also put all your handles and how to get your book, your Etsy store. We'll put that in the notes, the show notes, and in the description as well. Thank you, Erica. Is there any last words that you want to leave someone, some words of wisdom before we go?
I just simply say my favorite scripture that I forgot and had to be reminded about, but that is seek ye first the kingdom of God, and then these things shall be added to you. So, God wants the best for you. His best will absolutely blow your mind. I don't care how imaginative or creative you are, he will always surpass you with that. So let him be God follow him, trust him, whatever your faith level is, you take those baby steps and stick with them. And trust me, you will not regret it, no matter what happens while you're going through it. Once you get through it, and he will get you through it, it'll be the best decision you've ever made.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being a wonderful guest and sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and giving us practical steps on how we can improve ourselves. Thank you, Miss Erica. Okay, and if you would like to be a guest on the Sheila C Hill Show, please join us. If you have an inspiring story or you like to put your information out there, your business, just go to my website, thesheilachillshow.com, and click the little button that says be our guest. Now, as Erica was mentioning, I thought about a post that I posted actually today. And it says, when God gives you specific guidance, he will do more through you in days and weeks than you could ever accomplish in the years of labor on your own. Okay, so as she was saying, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Seek ye first. Don't just go out there and do it and then ask God to bless you. Ask him, what are you supposed to be doing first? And it's going to be blessed when he gives you that direction. So you got to do it in the right orders, all right? And stop skipping steps. Stop skipping steps. Listen, if we've said anything or Erica said anything that resonates with you, please, we would love to hear your feedback. Please give us some feedback. Or if you have any ideas of any shows that you would like to see as well for the Sheila C Hill Show, just let us know and hit us up. But in the meantime, if no one has told you today, I'm going to tell you this, that you are loved and you are highly appreciated. And what you do matters. You matter. So go and take that and you be great. In the meantime, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Until next time on the Sheila C Hill Show. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good day.